Hey guys, what be up? How are you guys doing? Sorry for the quick last minute change. Like I said, what was planned originally um got postponed, so I already put out a video explaining all that. But I thought I'd kick back to the normal and talk about the subjects I wanted to talk about last week. So it's in regards to the Tumblr ban, which everyone knows the Tumblr ban is now in place, and a lot of people have been leaving. There's a website now being created called Tumblr X, and oh, so yeah, but yeah, it's just me tonight because of the last minute switch around changes, which is fine. I won't have a co-host tonight, so. But anyway, let me kick over to the article. Let me give a few thoughts on the Tumblr ban. As far as I understand it, and I know that this has been a reputation with Tumblr for years, for quite some time, is Tumblr's always been the place where, and I'm not trying to like offend people or anything like that, but it's been the place where the degenerates go, where you find a lot of messed up porn, things like that. So it's been one of those places that pretty much it's another version of Pornhub, whatever. And so I used to have a Tumblr way back when, but because I never used it, I never really did anything with it. And because the stuff that was coming out of Tumblr, I purged it because it really wasn't doing anything for me. So with that being said, I think the reaction to the Tumblr ban, or Tumblr porn ban or whatever, is rather spurgy in my opinion. And that's simply because you have a company, and a lot of people claim that this is a bunch of BS. Somebody, and this is from what I read, somebody found that there was CP on Tumblr, and Apple, which Tumblr is trying to get back into Apple's good graces because they used to have a little application in Apple Store. So they're trying to get back on with Apple, so Apple pulled their application icon from the menu, from the Apple Store, because of the CP discovery, and now Tumblr is trying to clean itself up. And a lot of people are freaking out for no reason. You got the cam girls freaking spurging out, saying that now Tumblr is anti-sex or whatever. Just a bunch of retarded stuff going on. Now, let me talk about the cam girls, because to me, okay, women choose to do that, and it's not something I'm ever going to condone, promote, or respect to a sense. I've already had a debate about it with Vamp Candy and her channel a while back. I don't see them any less than me, or whatnot, but that profession, if you want to call it, not healthy. So when you have them start to complain, oh well, Tumblr's kicking us out, yeah, they're cleaning up their website. Apple does not want to deal with the digital whorehouse, and neither does Twitter, because Twitter's been cracking down on these cam girls as well. A lot of sites have been cracking down on them, and personally, I don't see an issue with it. If you want to do that sort of thing, either go to a website to where you know will allow it, or if there's like a bunch of you, professional ones, get a hold of a website designer, raise money for a website designer, and possibly, because sometimes they're one and the same. Website designing does fall into graphic design, but there's an artistic side and then there's a technical side. If you need to get a hold of a graphic designer that does deal with just the technical stuff, and then get a not safe for work graphic designer that deals with the imagery and advertising and things like that. So once again, like I said, I don't uh, advocate for that sort of stuff. I really think it's unhealthy. I think it's dangerous. I'm not a prude, so, and that's another argument I freaking have had thrown at me. Is that because I don't personally want to see porn or that other garbage, I'm a prude. No. I just I'm married. My only interest in seeing is seeing my husband. Thank you very much. So, there's an article I found that references a statement the Tumblr staff put out. So we're gonna go over that. Let me kick over to the chat here real quick. Um. Oh, she's so lonely. Cue Mr. Hart. No, he's not here either. It's just me tonight. Yeah, no. Flying Falcon said it's Pornhub 2.0. Yeah, and it pretty much is. It's the DeviantArt version of Pornhub. And that's just what it is. And Tumblr wants to be able to have their application on Applegan. And also, something too is Verizon. Verizon owns Tumblr. It's through one of their parent companies or sub companies. I don't remember how it worked out. But Verizon is taking care of the censorship on Tumblr. So Verizon wants to be able to advertise, and they don't want to deal with the digital whorehouse either. They don't want to deal with all this other garbage, especially when, if you look at the communities, because I had some freaking whiny old man start whining on me on Twitter when I said something. Is that if you look at the communities that dwell on Tumblr, you have the MLP crowd, you have the furries, you have the cam girls, you have a lot of different fan bases. And guess what really resolves in those fan bases? Pedos. You see YouTube videos about it. If you go, any videos containing the MLP community, they have been cracking down on pedos since January of 2018, ever since the crap with Toon Critic broke out. If you don't know who Toon Critic is, Y2K, I suggest you looking that guy up. That sleazeball's what caused the entire avalanche. And there's been a particular few individuals who've been sniffing these guys out. Effing Jar is one of them. Vita used to be another one. So there's been a couple people sniffing these guys out and running them out of the community and making sure they stay out. The furries that dwell on Tumblr. The stuff with Carol the Wolf. So this isn't just, oh, Tumblr automatically going, okay, we don't like you guys anymore, blah, blah, blah. No, they're cleaning up their stuff. If I was a website, I'd do the exact same thing. So I think the spurgery, the whining, the moaning, people are just wanting to keep these little dark spaces, and she's like, these companies don't want to deal with it because it's freaking disgusting. Now, like I said, I'm gonna head over to the live chat, and we're gonna kick over to the article because I do want to read that to you. Trying to make my Tumblr is just a duplicate of everything posted everywhere else. Yeah, you were telling me that, Trend Anime. Don't worry, I'm 23, single, and male. I don't even like porn. Yeah, no, I don't like it either. So, like I said, it has ties to human trafficking, child trafficking, sex slaves, and I've heard the argument, oh, well, it depends on the country. No, you don't know who the stars are involved. You don't know who's being made to do it and who does it willingly. And also something else, too, and I love this argument, and I think it's an oxymoron within itself, especially when coming from the feminists. You have the feminists go, oh, well, we choose to do this, this is empowering, blah, 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 but we want to squash the patriarchy and not have men treat us like sex objects and not catcall us and blah, 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 and it's just like, you can't have both. You either want men to treat you with respect and dignity and not oogle you for just your chest or rather your assets, or you want to degrade yourself and get paid to do so. So, can't have both. And I really hate that argument because it's empowerment. No, you've pretty much turned yourself into a sex toy with the illusion of control. Anyway. Spurg saying other people are just going spurgy. Oh, shut up, Falcon. Freaking picking on me. Okay, let me kick over to the TV here. Alright. Let me get this going, because I'm gonna have to readjust this. Boink! Okay. Oh, goody, it actually kept my sizing. Yay me. Okay, so this is from the techcrunch.com, and this was posted the 17th of December, which was yesterday, so we're going to go through and read it. There's a little picture of the statement, which we're going to go over to. It's referenced. Okay, let's talk about the grown-up stuff. The adult content that Tumblr says it's banning starting today. The wording of the company's initial plans was admittedly confusing, upsetting both artists and sex workers who have begun to rely on the platform as a kind of safe place for self-expression. Now, here's a bit that already irritates me, is with art in general, with Tumblr in general, places like DeviantArt, whatever, you're always going to have that expression. But once again, a lot of companies are not wanting to deal with the vulgarity or the nastiness, or as I said, the digital whorehouse that a lot of these sex workers, a lot of these not safe for work artists have turned these websites into being. So, like I said, there's a difference between posting nudity, which this Tumblr staff post does cover, like with statues and medical exams and things like that, versus full-on sex scenes or drawn-out sex scenes. So, automatically, just this is so genuous right here. It's not even funny because there's always going to be that sexual, or excuse me, that self-expression. There's always going to be that freedom. Just because you're no longer going to be allowed to show your assets anymore does not mean that your self-expression has been taken away. If that's your only form of self-expression, that's pretty damn sad in my book. Get a new form of self-expression. No. The site issued a blog post today, which I'll open that here in a second, clarifying that it had initially appeared to be a scorched earth approach to the explicit content as Tumblr frantically attempted to work its way back into Apple's good graces. Like I said, because somebody went and found CP on the site, in one of these not safe for work communities, Apple went, oh heck no, you're not coming back on here till you clean up your site. And I don't, good for them. Good for them. If I was an application runner or a store and I found this, I'm like, no, your ass is gone until you clean this up. I don't care. The note is a bit of a retread of earlier statements while offering a much clearer version of what things will look like on Tumblr's end. Of course, for some, this clarification might be coming too late. Many have already abandoned Tumblr for a greener or at least less family-friendly pastures. So the alternate version of Tumblr that's coming out is called Tumblr X, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something that people are putting together themselves, which, in a way, good for them. If you want to go and you want to post that type of vulgar stuff, I'm not going to bullshit, that's vulgar stuff, then go on your own website and do that there. But you can't get mad at these companies for wanting to clean themselves up in order to keep on these stores and to have these people advertise. Now, I understand there's people who have gotten worse with censorship, and I understand that there's people who try to whitewash or censor out everything, which I think is stupid. But for me, as I've always said on my channel, there is a balance. There are boundaries, and whether people like them or not, they exist, and companies are starting to embrace their boundaries back, and good for them. Not every company does this in a healthy manner. They go overboard and remove people and remove stuff that's not really offensive, that's just reporting on facts. So we've seen that too, but this is not the case with Tumblr. So Tumblr relied on a machine algorithm that flagged posts at a rapid clip, resulting in frustrating and sometimes hilarious misfires. This is a complex problem, the company writes, and over the coming weeks we will gradually and carefully flag more adult content. Yes, we will make mistakes, but hopefully fewer and fewer. Their service also clarifies its appeals process wherein users can protest posts they believe were incorrectly flagged. Content that is flagged will be hidden from view but not deleted, according to the company. Let me kick over to the chat real quick. Okay. Dylan Tilbrook, normally I don't watch Chambers. Well, welcome, Dylan. Nightshade, I like porn, but not degenerate porn. Dylan, what's degenerate porn? LOL. Nightshade CP. that crap is disgusting. Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, Tumblr X there, Dylan, is it's like a gonna be a shady version of Tumblr where people can go and post all sorts of nasty shit, express themselves. Okay. Tumblr also correctly notes that the important role the LGBTQ plus community has played in buoying the service over the past several years. Communities like this have found a home on the service, and many now feel threatened by what appears on the face of it to be a bit of a draconian new ruling. Okay, once again, banning vulgar images, freaking explicit pornographic images is not a draconian ruling, nor is it tyrannical. This is what I'm talking about. It's people blowing crap out of proportion. A lot of companies, Tumblr right now does not want to deal with the nastiness. They've already had CP found on their website, which got them kicked off of a store, mind you, that they've had a relationship for quite a while. And Verizon, they want Verizon to come and advertise. That means more money. So they're cleaning themselves up. This is not a case of censorship or a violation of freedom of speech. This is a company going, okay, we have a bunch of nasty crap that just got us booted. We're going to make some ground rules and we're going to keep them and we're going to try to keep everyone happy. And as you see from that statement, which we're gonna kick over here in the next minute or two, you're gonna see that it's gonna be a very, very hard tightrope for them to walk because they have to balance both sides. It's a nice gesture, but more to the point, it's a site finally acknowledging a core audience that feels betrayed by the new rules. No, it's not betrayal, it's their... Ugh. Anyway, Tumblr's own approach to them now feels fluid because it has to be. The company is towing a difficult line between the openness users have come to expect and regulations put in place to please walled content gardens like the likes of Apple and the strict structures of its, and for that matter, TechCrunch's corporate owner, Verizon. It's going to be a hard line to walk, but the future of Tumblr may very well depend on it. So you have people freaking out because they can't post these nasty pictures. Now, I understand being able to express yourself in particular subjects. Like, I use art as vent pieces. I've used art to help me get things out there. Now, there's a lot of stuff I've drawn that I don't post online. Why? Because it's too personal and be inappropriate to post. There's stuff I've drawn specifically either for myself or for my husband, and it never gets put online, but it helps me express stuff when it comes to certain things. So I get that, but to have people complain, oh, well, this is draconian, this is puritanical, this is this, this is that. No. All this website is freaking doing is cleaning up some of the most vile crap that it has on it. Let me pull up the article, and I have to be careful because I don't want to get my channel struck here because YouTube algorithm. Hold on. So I'm gonna have to kick over to the post, and then I'm gonna have to kick back over to the main thing so I don't get my channel struck. Okay. So. Okay, so let me kick back over to here. Let me touch base with the chat real quick. Okay. Falcon, it's all cancer. The autistic are getting nervous about this. Dylan, I've come across CP blogs on there, but they didn't have CP. Not sure what the stuff was found involved. It must have been the actual stuff. I don't doubt it, Dylan. Like I said, the communities that dwell on Tumblr, you have MLP, you have furry, and both communities specifically have been outed for pedos. They're like pedocentral. Not everybody in those communities are degenerates or nasty people, because I've met quite a few people in the MLP community who are actually quite respectable, and yeah, have a lot of young users in that specific community as well. And then furry, not so much. I tend to stay away from the furry community just because of they have some more darker aspects to them, and especially with what has come out with Kuro the Wolf. Yeah. And then as for everything else in between, like the cam girls and whatnot, I just go back to Pornhub. That's all I gotta say to those guys. I just no, no website wants to deal with your butt. And I'm not trying to be mean. They're not subhumans, but they can't expect a website to host you and what you're doing. And actually, for those of you who were watching the thought audit, you guys remember how people were reporting them to the IRS because they were avoiding paying taxes, and Rushvi had put out this thread, and I don't like Rushvi. I think he's wannabe alpha beta. But he put out this thread which he was forced to delete because a bunch of people went and reported him. He had a video clip of one of these cam girls bragging how they were avoiding taxes and telling people to use the family and friends feature to send them donations for their services. And with the family and friends feature, you don't pay taxes, you only pay a small transfer fee to transfer the funds. When it comes to the actual paying for services, the PayPal, you get taxes plus transfer fee taken out. So it's just, you did have cam girls doing fraud and tax evasion. So, and a lot of people got tired of it, and a lot of people are saying it was nothing but incels. No, a lot of people are tired of their shit, either taking advantage. There's another video I'm going to post in the link description, and I have to go get it, and I'll do it a little bit later, but it's by Helping Hand, and he talks about the mass spread of thoughts or cam girls and what they've been doing to the various websites that they freaking spread upon. So I'll post that in the link in the description, but if you guys want to go look it up for yourselves, it's a Helping Hand. His icon is pretty much like a white hand smacking somebody in the face. Once again, a good video, but yeah, I'll post a link to it in the description. Let's see. Yeah, random, that's me, heard they found child stuff on there. Then the people who were doing it on there went to Twitter, call themselves, yeah, not no maps pedos. And so yeah, that's the other thing that's with this Tumblr ban, is you have all these maps coming on to Twitter thinking they're gonna get comfortable. People have already gone and started to sniff them out. You have teenagers claiming to be maps, and you, because of people mass reporting these accounts, you have these no maps now either closing their Twitters, getting suspended, or going dark. Yeah, we don't want your butt around here either. What is MLP? Oh, that's My Little Pony. Dylan, Pornhub is not the same as Tumblr. No, I never said it was. I don't even go on the site. What I'm saying is, though, Tumblr is pretty much kind of like a DeviantArt version. DeviantArt's got some pretty raunchy crap in it, too. But, okay, let me kick over to the TV here. Okay, so this is from the Tumblr staff addressing like the rule changes and whatnot. A couple weeks ago, we announced an update to our community guidelines regarding adult content, and we've reached a lot of questions and feedback from you. First and foremost, we are sorry that this has not been an easy transition, and we know we can do a better job of explaining what we're doing. We knew this wasn't going to be an easy task, and we appreciate your patience as we work through the challenges and limitations of correctly flagging tens of billions of GIFs, videos, and photos. Today, December 7th, our policy begins to take effect. This means that we will start hiding, not deleting, posts that contain GIFs, videos, and photos from public view that are in violation of our policy. Again, this is a complex problem, and over the coming weeks we will gradually and carefully flag more adult content. Yes, we will still make mistakes, but hopefully fewer and fewer. More importantly, we want to clarify the things that you, as a community, have asked about the most. And then, yeah, they do go a little SJWE. Tumblr will always be a place to explore your identity. Tumblr has always been a home to marginalized communities and always will be. We fully recognize Tumblr's special obligation to these communities and are committed to ensuring that our new policy on adult content does not silence the vital conversations that take place on here every day. LGBTQ plus conversations, exploration of sexuality and gender, efforts to document the lives and challenges of those in the sex worker industry, and posts with pictures, videos, and GIFs of gender confirmation surgery are all examples of content that is not only permitted on Tumblr but actively encouraged. So like I said, they're still full snowflake, but We also want to reiterate some important information from our support post. Your content will not be deleted. If your posts are flagged under the new policy, they will be hidden from public view and will only be visible to you. You can appeal these flags if you feel your content was erroneously marked as adult content. Upcoming feature changes will also make appeals more manageable for those of you with multiple flagged posts. Your blog won't be deleted if you've posted adult content in the past, and there's nothing you need to do if you have interacted with adult content up until now. It will just be flagged and not publicly viewable. Don't forget too that you can download your content. It's yours after all, and we don't take that lightly. So I have to be really careful. Oh, okay. So, because I do not want to get my channel struck. Oh, I have not been showing the freaking article. That's nice. So, but yeah, I'll post a link in the description as well. I thought I flipped over to the article. My bad. But okay, let me scroll down here and then I will flip back over to the article. So pretty much what I'm skipping past because of YouTube's very, very fragile bot and algorithm system, I really don't want to get hit for community violation. So, but okay. So I had to scroll past. They showed examples of what they allowed on their website. But I scrolled past that not to get whacked because I don't want to get hit. What is still permitted? We've heard a lot of concern about what the policy does not permit, but we want to make sure that you also know what is still permitted. Written content such as erotica, nudity related to political or newsworthy speech, and nudity found in art, specifically sculptures and illustrations, is also stuff that can be freely posted on Tumblr, although photorealistic imagery or photography, images, videos, or GIFs with real humans that include exposed genitals or females presenting, yeah, we know you hate this term, nipples or depict sex acts is not allowed per our guidelines. So pretty much, no porn. Quit posting it. Examples of exceptions that are still permitted, but that you may need to appeal if they are misclassified are exposed female presenting nipples in connection with breastfeeding, birth or after birth moments, and health-related situations such as post-mastectomy or gender confirmation surgery. Sorry if I screwed that word up. The automated tools will approve. Having a post mistakenly flagged as adult content totally sucks. We understand and agree that there have been too many wrongfully flagged posts since we announced the policy change. With tens of billions of GIFs, videos, and photos to review and millions of new posts every day, we really need your help to get it right. The more you help by reporting content that's not permitted and by appealing content that you believe was flagged incorrectly, the better our automated tools will get at classifying your post correctly. The more content these tools review, the more that they will learn the difference between what's permitted and what's not. Most importantly, your content won't be deleted if erroneously flagged, and all appeals will be sent to a real-life human who can make the appropriate call. We love Tumblr and the communities that call Tumblr home. You are Tumblr. This place has always been a reflection of the voices and communities that thrive here. As you have always done, help us continue to shape Tumblr into the community you want it to be. So, as you have it, there's a lot of stuff that they're not going to touch, which in my opinion, when it comes to, let's say for example, erotica. Erotica, as far as I know it, or smut, or whatever other term there is for it, is pretty much, it can be sex scenes, pretty much written out, very graphic. Sometimes erotica can get very graphic, so to me, I don't see the difference between the erotica and the females presenting, if you will. So I don't, and that makes it hard with the censorship too, because one is written out, one is either drawn out imagery or photographed or what have you. So I don't understand why they see that as a difference. yeah, I normally don't watch Chambers. There's been a lot of stuff I didn't agree with, but I couldn't unsub. Chambers has done some good things, like the whole Daddy 5 thing. I wonder how those kids are. I don't have any contact with those kids, or Rose, but, I'm a controversial person. I really don't fit into anywhere. I don't fit into the Christian community. I really don't fit in so much with the anti-SJW. I do have a lot of anti-SJW views. I'm anti-feminist, but I really don't fit in there. Really, I don't fit in anywhere. I'm just me. So, Falcon says me too. Tumblr was the shit. It was unique, and you can't find anything else like it. Was not anymore. I read erotica too. Yeah, so like I said, I don't see much of a difference here, and I don't know why that froze. I do apologize. My GIF stopped working. Yay me. But yeah, so I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on the Tumblr porn ban? I know a lot of you were complaining or saying that Tumblr isn't what it used to be anymore. And let me see what the chat is. Oh, how do I disagree with the Christian community? Oh, there's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily like about it. And I've talked about this in past videos. There we go. Haha, we got it moving again. Let it snow. Where I have a video that it was put out way back how they do an abstinence only sex ed, and at the beginning of my marriage, I've been married for 5 years now, over 5 years, that the abstinence only sex ed, not wanting to explain anything else, is the most damaging and detrimental thing I have ever come across when it comes to the church. So that is one aspect I really don't freaking like, to be told by a youth pastor that any type of sexual thought is just of the devil, which is not true, by the way. And then on top of that, to where you had another one, and this was at a church camp I went to when I was a teenager, saying that sex was nothing more than genitalia connecting, and that's not true either. So like I said, the fact that they try to keep that in such a small box, and they don't go into the importance of development when it comes to teenagers, why they feel certain things like arousal and whatnot, and what's that for, and fantasies, and so that's one aspect. And then there's the just the way that they treat you. And I was actually having a conversation with a relative of mine the other day, and they're starting to see that the church is not a healthy place for growing their relationship with God, in general. And talking about how the church has just pretty much been devolving. The church is now, there's a church way, and then there's the God's way. And I'm not trying to turn this into a religious stream. It's just somebody asked me a question. So the church doesn't know how to treat people anymore. And I've seen from a lot of people, not just the atheists, how a lot of churches, a lot of Christians who go to church treat people beneath them. Treat people who don't believe in God or do certain things beneath them, or so self-righteous. And if I've experienced this too. I've been burned by freaking so-called pastors. I'm like, you know what, I've had enough. So I still believe in God. People may make fun of that. I don't care. But the church, I want nothing to do with. Certain churches, you can't ask questions. When it comes to specific groups of Christianity, you have a lot of them do like to deny science. Like you have the young creationists, 6,000 years old, and they will conflate verses that have nothing to do with Genesis at all. Like, they try to use the verse out of Peter, 1,000 years is as a day, and a day as is 1,000 years in the presence of the Lord. And that has to do with the presence of the Lord, not how old the freaking earth is. So that's that too. A lot of them are anti-vaxxers. A lot of them are anti-medicine. I remember having a conversation with a group of people, and one lady, I guess, got diagnosed with cancer, something of that nature, and they were talking to us like, we don't have to accept it, blah, 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 God didn't make you that way. I'm like, no, 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 wait a minute. No, don't tell her that. She needs to accept that she has cancer because she has to go freaking deal with it. Don't tell her that. No, originally God did not create sickness. He didn't create that crap at all. Like I said, not trying to turn this into a religious thing. I've had instances that I have felt unsafe at church, and I'll touch upon this real quick and then we'll move on. I had an instance, and I covered this in a video. Which one was it called? It was either titled My Fall from God, or there's another one, because I put out a couple of these and I don't remember. But pretty much, I talk about what happened at a specific church. I leave them unnamed. Pretty much, it was during a sermon. You had a guy in there who seemed overly excited to listen to what was being preached or talked about. The pastor's wife was talking, and the sermon, in my opinion, was just kind of shit. But anyway, she asked a question, and he raised his hand and said something, and she told him no, and he tried to have a conversation with her, and she shut him down. I was like, well, it pretty much just shut up, don't say anything. And he got pissed and walked out. And the way that he walked out, because he would not stay still in his seat, he was like Mr. Fidget. So, and I'm not making fun of him, but the way that he got up and stormed out of the room sent alarm bells off in the back of my head, and I'm sitting there and I'm going like, is nobody gonna go after him? Is nobody gonna go see if he's okay? Because there's something off about the guy. And so, call it either a gut feeling, whatever, God, for me I felt like it was God talking to me or whatnot, but it just, go get him. Go talk to him. And so I did, and I found out, and it scared the crap out of me later. He was medicated on 3 different drugs, self-medicated. He believed people were after him, gonna chase him to the town he was in. He had a freaking loaded gun. The way that this church was, and I'm not bullshitting about this, is you had the door right here. This church has moved buildings, so the first building that they were in is when I was going to them for a while. They had a door right here, a little lobby, and then they had a little umbrella stand right here to where you stuck the umbrellas in, so it's like this big looking tube black can thing. So he reaches over, because he has a bike inside the building as well in the little lobby, and he's talking to me, and we're talking about some things and what was said in the sermon and whatnot. And so I spend about 20 to 30 minutes talking to the guy. And so he reaches in and pulls out this big, or this thick handgun. It's about like that big, but it was really, really thick. And if you guys ever seen a real gun and compare it to, say, like maybe a BB gun or even an airsoft gun, because they're starting to make them realistic looking, some of them don't always have the orange tip painted on them. So when he pulled out this gun, I was not sure if it was a real gun, airsoft gun, or a freaking BB gun. But he pulls one out of the umbrella, stuffs it in his pants, and rolls out the door. And when I go back to the main service area, I have a couple of the church's elders that, I guess, were watching me. One of the first thing out of this cat's mouth is, well, did you go out there to rebuke him? And I just fucking looked at him. And I'm like, where's the pastor? The dude had a gun. So like I said, I'm not making it up. I've had some really bad experiences with churches to where I don't want to fucking go back. And so I stay away from the Christian community. Like I said, I believe in God, but I have had enough bullshit and enough freaking scorches to go, nope, I'm going back in my own corner. The hell with you. No. And plus, there's also some personal stuff from other churches with my family that I'm just going like, nah, you people can go fuck yourselves. No offense. I went off on a tangent. Let me go see what the chat says. Let's see. I really hope the new not safe for work tumblers will be just as good, but a lot of people want to restore the old feeling, if you will. As an Australian, apologize for Ken Ham. I don't know who Ken Ham is. The creationist idiot who built the dumb the dumb nose arc theme park. Apparently taxpayers' money also want to pay for it too, and it gets tax breaks. Actually, wait, that gets tax breaks? That's not cool. But yeah, Ken Ham, is that... I know of the God's creation theme park, and I don't know if that's by the same guy. More like tax evasion. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention he's in Kentucky. That might be the same guy. Ken Ham thinks Genesis explains everything. Okay, so to touch upon that a little bit, hold on, let's see. Random, I don't go to church, makes me feel weird. Anti-meds, some kids died that way. They don't want to take them to doctors. Yeah, and that's true enough. And because I've talked about this, like, I take medication. I am for medication. We were given science for a reason. We are caretakers of the earth, and so we have found multiple ways to take care of ourselves and to fix our problems and to take better care of ourselves. And one of those is with medicine, whether that be over-the-counter meds, vaccines. Please vaccinate your children because I'm starting to see that pop up again, and oh my goodness, vaccinate your kids, especially during this time of the year, please. And all that other crap. So, but yeah. If you need to take medicine, take your medicine, please. And then let's see. There's something else I want to touch upon. Genesis. Okay, so with Genesis, it is a poetic expression of how God created the earth. It does not explain exactly how everything was set into place. It talks about the lights, which... because this is something Bill Nye did, and I know that we're going off on a tangent. You guys remember Bill Nye the Science Guy, right? Not his cringy new show, but do you guys remember the little stunt he pulled when it came to the creationist theory? He faked his own suicide. This was quite a few years back. He did it because of creationism or wanting to make it go away, and he thought he debunked Genesis when he said, well, God, it says in Genesis that God created two lights, which is the sun and the moon. The moon isn't a light. I'm so smart. No, stupid. When the book of Genesis said that it created two lights, it is a figure of speech. It is a poetic expression because the moon reflects the sun's light. Excuse me, my phone's going off. Because when the moon reflects the sun's light and reflects it upon the earth, it's therefore looking like a light. The Bible's not saying the moon is an actual light. It's just saying it's a symbol that designates night from day. So like I said, poetic expression. And when it says that, because there's an article I came across quite a few years back when it talks about like the earth was created in 6 days, God rested on the 7th. Again, for people to try to apply a 24-hour clock to those days back then, because there is science behind this as well, as the days back then were longer, you can't. There's no indication in Genesis that specifically states those days were 24 hours. Our Earth has evolved and changed, and in some cases devolved since then or become more worn out as time has gone on. So, for me, I'm not a young creationist. I don't believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old. There are so many fossils. There's actually a video I redid, or remade. It's called Birds or Dinosaurs, or Christians Against Dinosaurs, and talks about the pterosaur as one example, or whatnot, but yeah, that's just pretty much my point. That's another thing. I don't agree with a bunch of Christians spouting, oh, it's 6,000 years old. No, it's freaking not. Stop it. And the day in the Bible is such a broad term, especially when it comes to Genesis, because I've gone and read up on things myself. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a degree in biology or physics. Science was actually kind of my weak points. I was more of an English and art type of person, obviously. But even then, it's just like, yeah, this don't make sense, guys. You guys are taking a literal term in Genesis. You're taking a poetic expression when there's no indication of how long those days actually were. So, like I said, sorry, small rant, but yeah, that's to answer your question. Jeez. Yeah, oh yeah, okay, that is the same guy. Okay, thanks. Dylan says Ken Ham built the Creationist theme park. Falcon Lookup answers in Genesis. I've heard that name before. I might have even stumbled across the website. Dylan says you'll find plenty of churches that are not like what you experienced in Australia Chambers. They're a lot more sane here. Trend Anime, curious question. Couldn't doctors and medicine be God answering people's prayers for help with their ailments? Yeah, and that is something too. And I've talked about this because I've actually had conversations with people like this because you have people who are healed in many different ways. You have some people who, and call me crazy, I don't care. I'm always going to believe in God. I've had my own personal experiences. I've had my own revelations and whatnot. I don't care. Make fun of me. You're not going to bother me. But when it does come to medicine, yes, medicine is used to heal people. Please, take your medicine. If you need to take your medicine, whether it be over the counter, whatever. And I was talking with people, and this is just my belief, because when it comes to people being sick, and I know that there's like a big question of why does God allow all this sickness, illnesses, blah, blah, blah. Again, disobedience plays into that. People not taking care of each other plays into that. But yes, medicine is a form of healing. I've heard stories to where the pastor has told people who they felt God spoke to them about, is like, you need to go to the hospital. You have something wrong with your head. And sure enough, the guy went, had freaking brain cancer. Other cases, people have been healed without needing to take medicine at all. So it's just, the way that I see it is God will heal people what best speaks to their heart. And some people have to go through the erroneous medical process. Others don't. I don't have answers. And I always tell people, I'm not going to sit here and try to bullshit you. I'm going to tell you I don't know. But yes, if you have a condition and you need to take your medicine, take your medicine. If you have religious leaders telling you not to take your medicine, run far away from them. Run far away. And there are times where people can get misdiagnosed, or they can get overprescribed stuff. It does happen. Some people are taking too much medication. That does happen too. Use discretion. But if you have religious people telling you, oh, well, medicine isn't of God, get far away from them. Go far away from them. They're not healthy for you. They're going to kill you. Go away from them. I'm not kidding about that. I'm not laughing. That's not funny. Get away from them. My point of view is Wiccan. Oh, okay. Flying Falcon, I have brain damage. God and the Shepherd Center help me, and that's good. Well, bad. Don't do that. Anime says a funny thing about you saying this right now. Totally forgot to take my meds this morning. That's bad. Don't do that. Go take them. Okay, but like, what time is it? Oh my gosh. It's almost 9. Let's kick over to the, Patreon stuff, because, wow, that took a tangent. Okay, so, like I said, we're gonna switch over to the, Patreon Purge. So for any of you who is not aware of why there's a Patreon Purge in the first place, why people are pretty much shutting down their stuff and leaving in jobs, is because Patreon removed Sargon of Akkad's account, Patreon account. Suspended it. It's no longer found. He's banned from Patreon. So, a lot of people are up in arms and leaving the website altogether. One of the creators that I personally support, I'm not going anywhere from Patreon, Magog of Morscar, he put out how he's bleeding, oh my gosh, I can't talk, bleeding followers or viewers from there. So he's pretty much bleeding money. And the last time I put the money together, he lost... It was losing near $100, 76 to 80 bucks from people leaving. So there's a statement that Patreon put out themselves in regards to Sargon of Akkad's removal from the website. And I know that Patreon has removed people in the past. You have Lauren Southern that was banned a while back. So let me kick over to the chat here. Flying Falcon, self-medicate. She goes, hey, this tangent was interesting. Yeah, it just, like I said, I just have a lot, and I'm not gonna lie to people, I have a lot of deep-seated anger with the church and with the Christian community as a whole because of my own experience, because of my own trauma, if you will, and people not knowing how to deal with that, and then I get treated as some sort of weirdo, or I get pretty much burned and tossed to the side either because I'm too much work, or I need more help than what they can give me, or they're not mature enough to deal with what my baggage or what I'm carrying. So yeah, no, it's been a year build up, year after year, and was it last year? Yeah, last year I officially pulled the plug. I'm like, no, I'm done. Fuck you. Goodbye. And I just know. Let's see. Lynch, Patreon, Dylan back. Sorry, I had to go do something, so probably missed you reading and responding to some of my comments. Oh, that's okay. People base their lives on the Bible. It's supposed to be a guide, not a life goal. Well, and I've gotten to biblical debates with people, and something I always tell people, always tell people, and this is very important, go read it for yourself. Go and study it for yourself. And when it comes to biblical debates, because I did point this out, you are always going to find articles that support your point and articles that contradict your point. You're always going to have articles that contradict each other or counterpoint each other. I'll give you an example. We were talking about I got one. Egyptian. People claim that Christianity is from the Egyptians or stolen from the Egyptians, and they use it's a sword that has to do with Horus being the son of one god that got killed and was brought back by his wife so she can bed it one more time so she can have his child. And so they compare that to the story of Jesus, and that's been debunked. And then you have people claiming, oh, well, no, it hasn't. So like I said, that's just one example. But always study for yourself. Learn for yourself. Don't let anybody spoon feed you shit. Don't do it. I did it when I was younger, but now looking back, it's just like, oh, wow. Because you are going to find stuff in the Bible that is messed up. That is not just an allegory or a figurative of speech, like one, for example, and this did happen, Deuteronomy, this was a very prominent argument I had on Twitter, and I actually made a few friends from this argument, Deuteronomy 21, verses 10 through 14. It talks about how female captives were pretty much forced to have sex, pretty much raped, and that is what happened. That's not, there's no way of getting around that verse, or what it said. Moses wasn't, pretty much the situation was, Moses sent out his men to take care of his city, according to what God had told him. Moses knew his men were going to abuse the women regardless, and so he set rules in place. It's like, well, give her, I believe it was 30 days of mourning, and then you can force yourselves, and then if you're dissatisfied with her, you are not allowed to sell her, you're to set her free. That is a very brief summary or brief gist, but yeah, there are situations in the Bible like that. And I will say, like, the hardest thing to go back and do is acknowledge those. So that does have to do with Christianity, because there is documentation of situations like that happening. You cannot ignore those. You have to face those and go, yeah, that was a shit situation. I've done it, so not fun, but yeah. But yeah, in regards to like the Bible, there's stuff that it's in there clear, and there's other stuff to where you really have to go and dig, and it took me like an hour and a half just to find the answer to one thing. The Bible originally was written in Hebrew poetry, so that's why you have repeats, like some phrases are like Lord, Lord. It's pretty much an emphasis. That's the Hebrew way of emphasizing the importance of a name or a person when they repeat it like that. But yeah. God, this took such a weird tangent. Let's see. Nah, y'all took my Yeah, no, I will. Okay, so that's another thing. I guess we'll touch the Patreon stuff here in a minute because this is taking another turn. Okay, so in regards to the holidays, because I have read up on the holidays, like you have the winter solstice being turned into a Christian holiday, and you can thank the Catholics for that one. They were trying to convert more people to Christianity at the time. So they took the celebration of the winter solstice and they converted it into what's now called Christmas. And people have gone through history and go, well, Jesus technically was born in spring, but his birth is celebrated in the winter. Christmas! The Catholics! Another example is you have Ishtar, which is the celebration of fertility, and you have that with a rabbit and an egg. Therefore, the Easter Bunny delivering eggs. That's where that comes from. So Ishtar, I believe, is spelled Ishtar, Ishtar, but we have it as Easter now. So that's why we still have the rabbit and the egg. And then there has been some Christian holidays converted over to secular ones, or you put pagan, Wiccan. You have Halloween. Now, Halloween is an interesting mix. Halloween has to do with the Druids, Hallows Eve, and then it's also has to do with the Christian harvest. Now, if you guys look at, for example, if you guys go and look at when the first jack-o'-lantern was made, the very first jack-o'-lantern was made out of a parsnip, and this was during the Christian harvest. So Halloween in itself is a combination of several different holidays, because like with Halloween, when you see like the merchandise and crap come out on the retail stores, you always see harvest before the official Halloween stuff. If anyone of you have ever worked in retail, you see the harvest stuff come out, like the carpets and stuff, and then you see like the pumpkins and themed little lanterns. That's the harvest, and then you have the Halloween. So that's a combo. Another one which got turned from a Christian holiday to more of a secular is St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day, you look at the history of that, that one is a mix of Celtic lore with the actual St. Patrick, where the clover used to be 3 blue and represent the Holy Trinity. So yeah, reading up on the holidays is actually very interesting. The same with St. Valentine. I'm not quite sure. I know it has to do with another saint who got beheaded for marrying people. But I don't know where the other part of Valentine's Day comes from, or where or how Cupid ever came in. I do know that Cupid is, I want to say Greek, because the Roman version of Cupid, I want to say, is Eros, or do I have that backwards? Aphrodite, yeah, Aphrodite is Greek, Eros is her son. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys are jogging my memory with all sorts of shit. Let's see. Patreon needs to meet the Monty Python Russian firing squad. And no, let's not advocate for violence. Trying to animate the thing with Jesus born in spring. It's like forget his birthday till winter, and we're like, oh crap! Look, don't tell him we forgot. Just make it a huge holiday. It'd be fine. There you go. There you go. That's how it happened. But yeah, seriously, like I said, that has to do with the Catholics when they came in, and each religion has a very dark past, especially the Catholics. No offense to anybody who's Catholic here, okay? But they have a very dark history to where they were like really cruel, and any place that they took over, they pretty much controlled. And with the area, I can't remember the area. But yeah, when they came over to that area and they started to fan out, convert people, they converted the winter solstice into Christmas. So, Santa Claus also has a Christian origin. It has a different mix of origins, actually. You have Saint Nicholas, or Saint Nikolai. His traditions and his story was brought over from Europe. I don't remember the year, and people cannot now remember which stories are true about Saint Nicholas and which ones are not. so he was brought over, his traditions, when the Europeans came over to the Americas, and then in the 1800s, if you read about how Christmas used to be seen in the United States during the 1800s, I want to say especially around like 1850s, it was considered a very dark time. A lot of drunk people fighting. A lot of people got killed because of mobs and shit that would break out during that time. So you had authors, I want to say out of New York, turned St. Nicholas into a burger. Not the actual sandwich, but there was a class. Let me see if I could pull it up here. But there's literally a class called a burger, and they turned St. Nicholas into that, and that's how Santa Claus started to form. You have, I can't remember where the name Father Christmas comes from. That's a whole different story. But they started to add more and more stuff onto Santa Claus, and that's why we have Santa Claus today. I don't remember the history of why the reindeer or was Santa Claus. I don't remember any of that. But yeah, go look up that's another interesting story, the origins of Santa Claus. It's pretty much Saint Nicholas, the actual saint, taken over from Europe, his traditions, and then turned into actual Santa Claus by, I want to say one book author did it, and then journalists took the story by the book author and started to spin it, and I think do like newspaper articles or newspaper little stories. I don't quite remember the story. But yeah, that's another interesting read. So, let's see. Bring in a fat guy with gifts, tons of gifts. Jesus won't even notice we forgot his birthday. Trying to make that jokes tonight. Dylan, he was a saint that was persecuted for giving gifts. Well, he apparently did a lot of things, rescued children, rescued somebody from getting killed. Like I said, there's so many stories floating around about Saint Nicholas that people don't know anymore which ones are true. There's even a story, this was in a Christmas book collection my mom used to have, to where he brought one small village that really didn't have anything or any toys, and he went out and he brought this small village of children, the children of the village, he brought them all gifts, just small gifts, and that was also added to the Santa Claus story. So, but anyway, let's get back on the Patreon thing before we run out of time. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna read their statement, and then I want to read the comments that follows. So I'm gonna kick over to the TV here. Okay, so actually, was there anybody? Nope, just me. Okay, so this was a post the Patreon staff put out December 17th, yesterday. This was by Jacqueline Hart. Some creators and Patreons have questions regarding our removal of Sargon of Akkad for hate speech. We take a strong stance against hate speech and want to make sure everyone has the full context regarding this removal. Before getting into the specifics, I'd like to warn you that there is some inflammatory language in an interview on another creator's YouTube channel, Sargon said. So, pretty much, it sounds like they went and cherry-picked some stuff. And I remember watching the interview that they're referencing. I don't remember what it was about. I can't be bothered with people who treat me like this. It's really annoying. Like, you're acting like a bunch of N-word. Just so you know, you act like white N-word. Exactly how you describe black people acting is the impression I get dealing with the alt-right. I'm just not in the mood to deal with this kind of disrespect. Look, carry on, but don't expect me to... Don't expect me to then have a debate with one of your F-word. Like, why would I bother? Maybe you're just acting like a bunch of N-word, mate. Have you considered that? Do you think white people act like this? White people are meant to be polite and respectful to one another, and you guys can't even act like white people. It's really amazing to me. Some people worry that we are reviewing content not posted to Patreon. As a funding platform, we don't host much content, but we help fund creations across the internet, and that is true. As a result, review creations posted on other platforms that are funded through Patreon. So, because a lot of people were complaining about this, is that Patreon is acting like Big Brother. Patreon does help fund many creations, whether it be games, videos, comics, what have you. So yes, of course they're going to watch what's being funded, what they're funding. Sargon is well known for his collaborations with other creators, and so we apply our community guidelines to those collaborations, including this interview. Which is kind of crap. Let me back up here, because if this person that was doing the interview was Sargon, is not a Patreon, and is not funded by Patreon, yeah, that is crap. No. Because it's not being funded by Patreon, nor should it be watched by Patreon. So that is a bit of an overreach. In our community guidelines, we state that we don't allow hate speech. Part of how we define hate speech in those policies is hate speech includes serious attacks or even negative generalizations of people based on their race and sexual orientation. We also say, when reviewing an account for potential hate speech violation, we consider some of the following questions. Is the creator using racial slurs or negative depictions of a protected class? In this case, Sargon used racial slurs to insult others and specifically linked those slurs with negative generalizations of behavior in contrast to how people of other races act. So they are pretty much taken out of context, and once again, the interview that was done, not on Sargon's channel, by the way, should have never even been viewed by Patreon. Patreon was overreaching at this point. Let's see. He also used a slur related to sexual orientation to generally insult others. Taken in whole with all of the context. No, you don't have all the context, and you were watching a channel which was not even being funded by you. And if it was, because I don't remember the channel that the interview was on. Okay, if the channel was being funded by you, then okay, you do have a right to watch it. But if not, overreach, way overreach. We understand that some people don't believe in the concept of hate speech, which is actually kind of stupid in my opinion, because there's a such thing, but what people like to classify versus what is actually hate speech are two different things. Let's see. Where was I? Okay. Hate speech, and don't agree with Patreon removing creators on the grounds of violating our community guidelines for using hate speech. We have a different view. Patreon does not and will not condone hate speech in any of its forms. So whether that be citing someone with context, they don't allow it. We stand by our policies against hate speech. We believe it's essential for Patreon to have strong policies against hate speech to build a safe community for our creators and their Patreons. So, as I said, when I first heard about it, here's my view on Sargon. Because I've seen this guy devolve, just pretty much go down the toilet. And especially, and I think Sargon's being a bit of a hypocrite here whining about this, I understand because there was two different types of account. Patreon account is pretty much can be someone's income. I get that. And then, but if any of you remember his fights with Mr. Medicare or Jim, both Jim and Sargon now have new Twitter. They've had new Twitters for a while. Even though both of them have been continuously banned off that platform, you had Sargon come out and try to out Jim, try to get him deplatformed from Twitter. Again, because they were fighting, and Sargon now has deleted the tweet. But he was trying to do this to Jim, and I know Twitter is not a funding site. So I do, there's a difference. But the concept of deplatforming is just the same. Sargon has gone out of his way to do it to other people. Now, because there's income involved, and I do not know if this is Sargon's main source of income, but it's still income regardless. It's still messed up. But Sargon's kind of being hypocritical here. I'm acting too much like a mortal, in my opinion. His behavior and what he's done over this past few months has just... I used to look at him differently. I don't look at him the same way so much anymore. To me, he's a bit cringy now. Oh, hold on, hubby. Texting me. So, but I still... After reading all of that, and once again, for any of you who actually know where that interview was being hosted at the channel, like I said, I remember coming across that interview briefly. I do not remember the channel, and if that channel was not being funded, if that particular channel did not have a Patreon on it, or being funded, Patreon was overreaching. That was way beyond what they are supposed to do. Now, if the channel was funded by Patreon and the person doing the interview of Sargon did have a Patreon, the Patreon was when within their every right to watch that interview and go, you know what, we don't like this. So, once again, if you guys have a link to that actual interview, I'd love to have it because I really want to see if that channel actually has a Patreon and if that's not one of Sargon's alternate channels. But let me touch base with the chat here just a bit. Let's see. Oh, Trend Inmate's not working. Elves and deer, babies like toys made by baby-sized people, right? All of them love magical reindeer. Like I said, I don't remember how that stuff came into play with Santa Claus. I really don't. I think that stuff got added on later. Dude, I accidentally painted this one's nose red. I grabbed the wrong damn paint. F it, it's Rudolph. He's special. Flying Falcon, you are a comedian tonight. Oh, well, I'm honestly not trying to be. I'm just a little bit more relaxed or whatnot. Just kind of chilling out. Oh, okay, you're talking to Trend Anime, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, Trend Anime got jokes. Trend Anime, yo, this elf says he wants to be a dentist. What do we do? Tons of candy for Easter. You be rich. Flying Falcon, you need to write these down. Yeah, they're all right here. Copy and paste for later. Trend Anime girl, you'll accept this elf as a dentist or it's hate speech. Oh, speaking of that real quick, the freaking controversy surrounding around Rudolph the Red-Nosed Ranger. I freaking hate it because now you have like the snowflakes like complaining everything about Christmas. I'm just like, just shut up. Oh yeah, no, she definitely does. Copy and paste, like I said, for later. But yeah, let's look at the, I'm gonna flip it down to the comments. I was touching base if somebody had anything. Oh. Patreon shot on their base. People are leaving and are going elsewhere now because of this. Hope it stings. Gundog, hello. Hi Gundog. Oh, and something I want to touch upon before we look at the comments, because something I want to bring up for any of you who think going to Subscribestar is a good idea, don't. Even before PayPal pulled its support for Subscribestar because the influx of alt-right, Subscribestar, and this was dug up by Maddie the News Chick. If you don't follow her on Twitter or YouTube, I recommend you doing so. But she decided, I'm going to pull it up here, she decided to dig through Subscribestar's term of service. Oh, I see that it is refreshing. That's lovely. She decided to dig through their terms of service, and she pulled out some very interesting things here. So I'm going to flip over to the TV, and I'm going to show you. So like I said, this is Maddie. So there's also a link in my description of a review of Subscribestar, and something that's mentioned in that review is nobody knows what country Subscribestar falls under or what country they answer to in regards to laws, legislation, censorship. So nobody knows. But I want to look at the snapshots and some of the stuff that she highlighted. So we're going to go through and we're going to take a look at those. So here's the first one, because this was before, like I said, this is before Subscribestar had their PayPal account or whatever pulled, frozen, what have you. And we're going to look at the highlighted stuff. We are and shall be under no obligation, one, to maintain any comments in confidence. So, meaning if you send something to them personally, they don't have to keep it private. They'll do whatever they want with it. To pay compensation for any comments, or 3, respond to any comments. So they don't have to pay you for comments, and then they could just ignore you even if you have worries and concerns. So isn't that nice? This is Subscribestar, by the way, that everybody wanted to run to before the PayPal got pulled. We may, but have no obligation, to monitor, edit, or remove content that we determine in our sole discretion are unlawful, offensive, threatening, libelous, defamatory, pornographic, obscene, or otherwise objectionable, or violates any party's intellectual property, or these terms of service. So, pretty much what they're saying is they do not have to remove anything. that violates the law, that is stolen from other people, that is threatening, like legit threatening, or otherwise. So they don't even monitor properly what is on their own platform, which is actually kind of scary. So you agree that your comments will not violate any right of any third party, including copyright, trademark, privacy, personality, or any other personal or property right. You further agree that your comments will not contain libelous or other unlawful, abusive, or obscene material. Well, what does it freaking matter if you're not going to remove it? You say that you may, but you have no obligation to remove any of these things. Once again, subscribe stir, people. This is what people wanted to run to before digging into it. Like I said, Maddie the news chick. I posted a link to this Twitter status in my description as well. Go subscribe to Maddie. Prohibited uses. We're going to look at the highlighted stuff again, which this talks about their terms of service and whatnot. Violate, oh, here's something to violate any international, federal, provincial, or state regulations. Again, in this review, which is link is in the description labeled as review of Subscribestar. Nobody knows who Subscribestar falls under. They don't know what country they fall under. They don't know who legislates them. This is not put on the website. Highlighted stuff. You cannot use this website to harass, abuse, insult, harm, defame, slander, disparage, intimidate, or discriminate based upon gender, sexual orientation, religion, ethnicity, race, age, national origin, or disability. Have to submit false or misleading information. So, those are the rule, their terms of service in regards to how it's to be used. But once again, going back to their other one, they have no obligation to remove anything. They may or may not do it if they want to. So they don't even follow their own rules, apparently. Termination, and here's the big one. If in our sole judgment you fail, or we suspect that you have failed to comply with any term or provision of these terms of service, we may terminate this agreement at any time without notice, and you will remain liable for all amounts due up to and including the date of termination, and or accordingly may deny you access to our services of any part thereof. So, in a nutshell, they have rules. They may or may not hold you to said rules, and they may or may not terminate you based on said rules that they may or may not enforce. Makes sense to me. Like I said, a lot of people wanted to run to this website. A lot of people tried to advertise this website. Maddie, the news chick, once again, go follow her. On Twitter, and she does a YouTube channel. She does the Morning Brew, or I believe right now it's her co-host, and she also writes articles. But yeah, she decided to dig into this, and I'm so glad she did, because a little bit later, surprise, PayPal's gone from it. Kind of expected. Let me touch base with the chat again. But yeah, as you can see, that was not anybody's savior. So, as messed up as the Patreon situation is right now, the fact that people are leaving and the people they support they're leaving them SOL, I think y'all are freaking stupid for doing it. That's my opinion. I still have pledges on there that I'm not going anywhere because there's nowhere else to freaking go. The people I support, Magaga Morscar is one of them. He tried to go to Subscribestar. He's probably back on Patreon right now. As far as I know, he doesn't have another way of financial support outside of possibly PayPal. It's been a while. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere. And the fact that you people are leaving your the people that you support and want to support in the dust, I think you're freaking stupid. I'm sorry. There's nothing else right now to use. PayPal, let me explain something. Is because I know a lot of people don't like it, and I have talked about this on my channel, how I've been changing the format of my channel a bit, and there's certain stuff I don't touch, not because I'm scared to touch them, but because there's stuff I know is going to brew trouble. Stuff I know is going to start fights with people that don't want to listen. And there's stuff that I don't entertain on my specific channel because, number one, I don't want to get associated with it. I don't agree with it. Perfect example is the alt-right crap. I've talked about it in a couple streams, whether it be my channel or someone else's. I'm never going to entertain the alt-right on my channel. I don't give a damn. My family's mixed. I don't agree with any of that white supremacy shit. It sometimes gets thrown at me being called a white supremacist because I either disagree with immigration, the way that it's being handled by the Democrats. But yeah, no, that's one example. I've had to, because of the way that I use PayPal and some other stuff, I've had to change my behavior because I don't want to get associated with a lot of shit. So call that for what it is. I don't care, and I've talked about this, but right now there is not another platform outside of Patreon. There is not. You have Kofifi or Coffee, which is buy them a coffee, but that a lot of people don't use that. I've seen some deviant artists try to use it. I've seen some Tumblr artists try to use it. So the fact that people are leaving and leaving their much supported people in the dust all because the Sargon Akkad was removed, yeah, I get it. Take a stand, but at the same time, you're screwing over a lot of people and punishing a lot of people who don't deserve it. Be smart. There is nothing else right now. And there's a lot of people whose Patreon, that is their only income level, either because they've been kicked off of PayPal or they don't trust PayPal. Me personally, because when PayPal decided to, I forgot what they did, they removed somebody's PayPal account, and you have to excuse me my allergies. A lot of people left PayPal. I can't leave PayPal. I need PayPal. Not just for, like, I haven't had commissions for a while, but for personal uses. I need it. So I'm not going to leave it. And this is how people are with Patreon. So people who are leaving Patreon saying, oh, well, bye-bye. It's like, you guys are being stupid. It's not going to do anything to pay Patreon. If anything, it's only going to punish the creators. That's it. Patreon is still going to be around. There's still many, many people that use Patreon. All you people are doing are punishing the creators that don't deserve it. Think of something else. Sorry, a tangent. I see people leaving. I think they're freaking stupid for it. My opinion. Let's see. Let's see. Let me catch up with. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. They're moving to Twitter, everyone. Oh, I missed some stuff. Let's see. Hello, hello. Did you just misgender my elf dentist? You know what works on Snowflake? Snow plows of truth. Truck corn. Lol. And booty. They're moving to Twitter, everyone. Oh. Where are you? Oh, okay. Did you know that there are a lot of Christians become atheists just by trying to read the Bible from cover to cover? I believe it because they think... here's the thing, and I know we're going back to the religious thing, but... with the Bible, and I'm no expert, if I don't know something, I will tell you, I don't know something. Ask anybody I've gotten into a debate with. But when it comes to the Bible, you literally have to study. You cannot read it at face value and go, oh, well, I understand this. Oh, this contradicts itself, because that's another claim that people do about the Bible. Oh, it contradicts itself. No, it freaking doesn't. If you actually take the time to read and study it, you will find out that it goes through a series of shifts, especially from the Old Testament up into Isaiah to the New Testament. There's a shift. Old Testament is pretty much an old covenant, which was very severe. It was in the time of Moses, Mosaic law. Isaiah, you have talks about a new covenant, a new way that God wants to do things. Going to the New Testament, Jesus, new covenant. There's more than that, obviously. But yeah, a lot of people can think they can read that at face value, because there's a lot of stuff that's point blank, that there's no interpreting that in a different way. But there's other verses in there that you really have to look at the wording. And something too, because I told this to other people, is because the Bible got translated from all these different languages, or to all these different languages from Hebrew, you have to go and look up the original Hebrew word that was used in that verse. I don't have any ones on the top of my head, it's been a while, but yeah, that's something you do have to do. You just can't read it cover to cover and go, oh well, this is crap, this contradicts. No, you didn't take the time to study, go try again. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Trying anime, I have a subscribe star. I figured my fans can decide for themselves. With that, because like I said, PayPal got moved or pulled, how do you transfer money from subscribe star now? I heard it was PayPal. But yeah. Falcon, please, guys, go follow Maddie. Yeah, like I said, link to her Twitter status is in the description. I recommend giving her a follow. She's a cool gal. I actually got to meet Maddie in person. Her and her husband are truck drivers, and she stopped near my town, and I went to go say hi. So yeah, Maddie kind of cool. Go follow Maddie. Let's see, and Newgrounds. Trend anime girl. Oh, Maddie's awesome. She loves coffee. Anybody who loves coffee has my attention. Yeah, hey, I like coffee. Dylan, the Catholics is disgusting and vile. The Catholic Church is disgusting and vile. The Catholics have a lot of dark history. And I will say, depending on the church that you go to, because there are some Catholic churches that worship the Mother Mary. And there's actually a controversy brewing with the Catholics right now because, and I don't want to take it to a dark area. We're not going there, so I'm just gonna say this one thing. And I'm gonna move on. Right now, with a history of messing with children with the Catholic Church, the dealing with that has been put off again, and there's names of dead popes that they do not want to out because it'll ruin their reputation or whatever. So yeah, the hell with the Pope. False prophet, in my opinion. That entire, I was telling this to somebody a while ago on Twitter. That entire thing has too much power. It just needs to be cut and stripped. I don't care. Overdressed. Anyway, let's move on. Echo Whisper Draws. Hey, hellos. Subscribe star, be like, shut up, do what I want. Browse up, Dr. Phil's crowd. Flying Falcon, damn, this is nuts. Oh yeah, like the terms of service. Yeah, like I said, everybody ran to subscribe star, nobody dug into it. Maddie did, and then subscribe star loses PayPal. Dylan, did anyone know that the Catholic Church was also against freedom of speech and religion? They were against a number of things that the American Constitution grants. Yes, like I said, dark history, when, especially during the earlier times of Europe, and also, I'd look up the history of, am I using that right with Catholicism? I believe that's the right word. The history of the Catholics in Ireland. Oh my gosh. That is some dark crap. If I remember correctly, there was a church that they found a bunch of deceased children under or in tunnels. I can't remember exactly what happened, but Ireland and Catholics, dark history. If you really want to go down that rabbit hole, that's a good place to start, in early Europe. But yeah, Catholics were control freaks, like major control freaks, and they used to have a lot of power back then. Thank God they don't. Separation of church and state, please. Let's see. It's only a matter of time before Patreon and Subscribestar kicks my transphobic ass off their services. Just depends. Flying Falcon recognizes enough grants. Echo Whisper. Oh, she's asking Dylan to stop with the history. Yeah, it's like, it's a rabbit hole I'm not going down. Trainer McGirl, Seek, Destroy, Terminate. Falcon, please. Okay, yeah. Let's not bring that up. Whatever. Draws, it's true. It was 100 years ago. Yeah, like I said, dark topic. I really don't want to... Okay, yeah, I think people... Yeah, dark topic. No... it's Dylan, it's a dark topic. It's an interesting conversation piece, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's a rabbit hole a lot of people don't want to look at, and how about we not go there? Throws M&M's in chat. Chocolate! Skittles? No, I prefer the chocolate. Skittles are way too sugary. Train Anime Girl, I lost half my Patreon amount. Yikes. OMG, I'm barely eating. Let's see, what else? I don't like reindeer. Oh lord, this is taking a rather dark turn. Echo Whisper, I'm thinking of becoming an atheist. Yeah, a lot of people have turned away from the church, and honestly, I don't blame them, and in return, that turns them away from God. Okay, God and the church are two separate things, but because the way that church treats people and claims to be acting in the authority of God, yeah, so I can understand that. Like I said, everybody has to decide for themselves. Look at things for yourselves. I've reached my own conclusions by reading and looking. I'm not knowledgeable about everything. There's still a lot of stuff I don't understand, but I still believe in God regardless. I don't want to go anywhere near anything religious. But let's go back to the comments. Because we started talking about Subscribe Star. Because I did want to point that out. That was important to point out. I'm going to look at the comments that people were saying in regards to Patreon's post. So, and once again, if anybody has a link to the actual interview that Sargon had, like I said, I want to know if that channel has a Patreon, that they're funded by a Patreon account. Okay, so this is the first person. We're not going to go through all these, but a lot of people are rightfully ticked off. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about this is Sargon is playing too much of a martyr. I understand Twitter account is different from a funding account, but he has called for other people to be deplatformed in retaliation for their smack talk against him, so I have mixed feelings about this. I really frickin' do. Okay, what are you talking about with all the context? Well, it's all of the context, including listening to Sargon's tone of voice and the entire discussion. In the interview, he's using their own warped racist views against them. The alt-right believe white people are superior. Sargon was using their own disgusting views to prove them wrong. He was being sarcastic. Okay. Sargon was talking to white supremacists, telling them how they were acting exactly like people they claimed to hate. You are clearly being disingenuous. Why do you just so happen to leave this fact out of your story? You, Jacqueline Hart, are a liar. You are clearly being dishonest. Thank you for showing the rest of us. And then people have gone on and said that they have searched Patreon for slurs. And there was a Twitter status that was linked, and let me see if I can find it here. Here it is, because this was literally three things. This is by Eric Winstein. And he literally went and only found, like, was it 3 things, 4 things? Okay, let's take a look at these. What's up, my N-word, donate please, I love, yeah. The N-girl story continues, stop doing that. Hit the N-baby, so there's 3 things. This is from a year ago, this is from 3 years ago, and the last one is from 10 months ago. So they really try to go digging. What is this? Is this from Patreon as well? Apple Music? What is this? Okay, what are these from? That has nothing to do with Patreon, dude. Oh, okay. So he's saying to be consistent, platforms would now need to be deplatformed from their own platforms for platforming, intersectional misogyny, Apple, genocidal hate, literature, Amazon, religious intolerance, Twitter, rape culture, Google, and racist epithet, Patreon. So, okay, this is, you guys, this right here to me is reaching. You went and found 3 things. 3 things, not several, one from 1 year ago, 3 years ago, and 10 months. That tells me nothing. That tells me a few people flew underneath the radar. Are they big? Are they controversial? Do they start trouble? Which Sargon does do. If you've been watching his behavior for the past 10 months, I'm not saying or advocating Patreon should remove him. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about the guy. He has been a shitbag for the past few months with calling for other people to get deplatformed in retaliation for the smack talk against him. Mr. Mediker is a perfect example. The tweet is now gone. But yeah, I just I know not everyone can catch everything, and like I said, there's balance. As we've seen with the Tumblr stuff, there is a balance that needs to be had, because you can't censor every tiny thing that offends you. While at the same time, you have to make sure that you crowd control a bunch of nasty crap if you want other people to even either have you advertise or them advertising on your platform. So it's a tricky balance. Some companies go way overboard with censorship, crackdown, and things like that, or wrong think, and so it's a mixed bag. But that was reaching. To me, that was reaching. That was ridiculous. That was cringy. Um, let's see. Nothing else. Well, so we're in our last 20-minute stretch. There was a video, and Sargon put something out. Patreon double down. It is 20 minutes long. I wanted to go over it here, but that's no. That's gonna take forever. If anything, I could just post a link in the description for you guys to go and watch it. But if you guys want to jump into the hallway, if you guys want to come in for the last 20 minutes and just kind of give your thoughts. Was someone trying to get in here? Hold on, I think I have somebody wanting to come in, but they were in the open hall. I think it's... Kevin, are you trying to... Were you wanting on, dude, or... I don't know if he's there. Hold on, I have someone who went totally quiet. But yeah, jump to the hallway if you guys want on, if you guys have any thoughts about what's going on with the Tumblr ban and things like that. I just think it's a lot of people are spurging out for no reason. It's just the higher-ups cleaning out the trash. Not saying the people are trash, but the media that they post is now no longer acceptable. Which, once again, people... Because I've been called a prude, I've been called tyrannical, whatever. If I had a website, I wouldn't allow that crap on it either. I don't care. Let me see. Anything else? Kevin! See, I want to throw him in, but he has everything muted. Let me see if he's actually here. Oh, well, hey, do you want to come on, Kevin? Do you have to unmute your stuff if you want to come on? Because I don't want to just throw you in and have a bunch of dead air. Yeah, like I said, it's the maps. The maps are invading Twitter, and they're quickly getting snuffed out. Nobody wants to deal with them. Nobody wants them around. They're disgusting. Okay, well, I'm gonna throw you in, and then I'm going to unmute you by server, and then you have to unmute yourself. So you're in by the Hearth live stream. There you are. Scared the shit out of me. Okay. I'll just put you on server mute and just message me when you have headphones. Okay. So he's gonna get headphones and then he's gonna come on. Falcon says Spurging just makes me laugh. It's a term. It's an easier term to use for freaking out or whatnot. So some people get offended. I don't. I'm high functioning. I don't care. I think people are legit spurg sometimes, and this Tumblr crap is people legit spurging out over nothing. Hurry up, Kevin. My chat is not keeping up with. But yeah, you guys, that's something too I wanted to ask you guys, because I'm thinking about it. My husband is gonna be home for Christmas, so he got his off day switched around to where he's gonna be off for Christmas. I was thinking about possibly having a stream on Christmas. It just depends. Not a long stream, but just kind of like, hey, come hang out here if you don't have anything else to do or nowhere else to go, and just, I don't know, do whatever, if that sounds fun with you guys. Let's see. Unmute. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on, Kevin. Okay, you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
What's going on, Kayla?
Uh,
Quickly recap with me, because just so I get like the gist of it. I'm gonna give you my thoughts.
pretty much we just talked about the Tumblr porn ban, and everybody's freaking out for no reason. We went over the Tumblr staff posting, pretty much them stating we're not going to remove adult content that has to do with physical education. We're not going to remove nudity that has to do with art, sculpture, political movement, medical exams, transitioning, certain communities like the LGBTQ plus. They want to keep the environment safe for everybody, but they don't want hand-drawn images or any photographic images of pretty much women presenting or any genitalia, which is just porn.
Hold on.
What?
No, I just caught my little homie explaining some shit. Anyway, okay, so the community for Tumblr, I can understand it becoming a safer place. But I don't understand why in the hell they would like ban something like that on Tumblr. And you know me, I'm a mutual person. Everybody, should be in one really good safe community, especially with the LGBTQ community. But I just don't understand like society nowadays, like with Tumblr, like everybody's like doesn't want this, we don't want that. Oh, oh yeah, that's offensive. Oh, yep, we're gonna get rid of it. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it at all.
Well, with Tumblr, because it sounds like you missed a lot. With Tumblr, just to recap just a little bit, Tumblr was kicked off of Apple Store because Tumblr found CP. Apple got wind of it, and it's just like, yeah, no, your ass is gone. Clean up your site, or you're not coming back in our store area. So their application got booted off, and then
Is it because of that?
yeah, it's because CP child stuff was found on Tumblr. And then Verizon is wanting to advertise on Tumblr as well. So Tumblr's cleaning it up for Verizon. And Verizon apparently owns Tumblr by a branch of companies. And so they are going through and they are help cleaning up the website as well. So now they're banning pornography altogether, and they're also getting rid of the camgirl stuff. But they still allow erotica, which in my opinion is kind of contradictory to the porn ban because erotica is nothing more than the written version of what porn is. Porn can either be photos or gifs or videos, and erotica is pretty much written form of that. So to keep one form and not the other 2 to 3 makes no sense to me. But with erotica, the written form, you have to actually go and read it. It's not easily caught, and I guess they don't want to squash the self-expression altogether, but they're not dealing with the cam girl stuff anymore. Which I don't blame them. A lot of websites are tired of the digital whorehouse, and that's the way I'm gonna say it. That's what it is. Uh, it's just your digital whore. But that's what strip clubs do. You have strip clubs. That's what Pornhub does. I'm sorry, a lot of websites do not want to deal with your crap. You're not less than anybody else. You're not. These people aren't subhuman, but a lot of companies and a lot of websites are cracking down on being a digital whorehouse or paying for those. Especially, we talked a little bit about the thought audit and how a lot of people were reporting them to the IRS because there was proof that came out by David Wu and Roosh V that they were doing tax evasion and fraud through PayPal. So people started to report them to PayPal going, yeah, they're doing this against terms of service. So a lot of PayPal is starting to get pulled. So there's that. And then we talked about Patreon booting Sargon off the platform and overreaching a little bit because content really isn't posted on the Patreon, and they are used to fund many, many different projects, whether it be video, comic, photographic, whatever. And so the interview that Sargon had, and I don't remember what channel, and I really want to know if that channel had a Patreon account, because what...
Wait a minute, I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna stop you there for a second. Sargon, wasn't he the one that actually, if I'm not too mistaken, hasn't he been like in trouble with a lot of people, multiple times before?
Yeah, he had an issue with UKIP. The UKIP is a political conservative party in the UK. He got into trouble with them because him and Count Dankula joined UKIP with Paul Joseph Watson, and Sargon didn't want to do anything for the party. He just wanted to own the libs. So, and then him and Mr. Medicare got into a fight, and he actually called for Medicare to get deplatformed off of Twitter when both him and Medicare now have new accounts and have sidestepped Twitter's ban evasion, which I really don't care. But the fact that Sargon outed Jim's like, oh, hey, this person has sidestepped your Twitter ban several times and they have a new account. So he's a hypocrite. And then there was something else. He's devolved. He wants to start up Gamergate 2.0, which is freaking retarded. He's gone.
Well, if he starts that up, let's be realistic here. If Sargon would really start something like that up, I guarantee he is not going to get a lot of supporters. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
No, a lot of people thought he was dumb for it. Yeah, right now we have Comic Gate.
And he probably still is.
Huh?
I said, and he probably still won't get any supporters at this point. Like with the stuff that he starts up. Me, I mean, my personal opinion, I have looked at it. I looked at some of his situations here and there, and I don't really pay attention to him very much. But
I stay away from all that crap now.
See like some of the situations, I hate him.
Well, I don't hate him. Like, I have literally backed off because I used to watch Sargon a lot. I have backed off a lot from the skeptic sphere, the anti-SJW sphere, the IBS sphere. I have backed away from all of it because it's gone full-blown stupid. We now have two people who set up a freaking immature MMA fight, dragging in a actual professional MMA fighter, Tara La Rosa, and she's already calling this a shit show. She's been calling it a shit show for a while. The poster looks like shit, and it's going to be shit. And I'm calling it now, and I've said it before, that fight's either not going to happen, or it's going to be the most disappointing thing, and it's going to damage both Andy and Tonga. That's not going to be anything spectacular. It's going to burn.
No, it's going to. I mean, that's not going to be surprising. I have no opinion on it. That's you can say that better than I could. I know for a fact that is going to be bad.
It's going,
not surprising.
It's going to be a blight on the Rosa's reputation because she encouraged it. She got them signed. She's the one that actually talked to people about getting this shit set up. So when this shit falls and burns and dies, she's gonna have this blight on her hands too. So it's like, all of y'all freaking stupid. I remember, was it Twitter? Twitter, because I'm like, it's two men acting like women, getting ready into a slap fight, and someone goes, well, you don't like real men fighting? I'm like, this isn't a real man fight. This is stupid. This is crap over fucking
No, it's more
internet.
along the lines of it's a
It's
it's a
retarded.
bitch fight. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is a cat fight on testosterone. That's what this crap's gonna be. It is gonna be so fucking bad. I could see it because they've been shit flinging each other ever since this crap got set up with the contracts and everything. And I don't know if you've seen the poster, because I do have a video on my channel. It's called a From a Graphic Designer's Perspective, to where the photos
I've seen it.
Yeah, Terra LaRosa couldn't use their actual realistic photos because nobody would recognize them. Andy Worski had put out a snapshot
Mhm.
of the photo that he sent to Terra LaRosa, and it didn't look good. It really didn't.
I'm
So
sorry, but I do see your videos, but no offense, hey, no offense, Kayla, or anything, but I've seen your videos, but you upload at the wrong times when I'm actually at work, and my phone will legitimately go off, and it will say, Chambers of My Heart has actually uploaded a video on YouTube.
I don't have an upload schedule.
I've been like, God. Oh, I know you don't, but at times, like when I'm at work, my watch will go off and said, "Oh, well, she has uploaded a video." God damn it! Now I have to go see what the hell's going on. I have to catch up.
I don't post so much anymore these days for the most part. I've been involved with the Save James stuff, but when that's not being updated, I go off and I do my own thing. Cause I stay away
Well,
from
I
a lot
have
of
a
the shit now.
question for you.
What?
I heard you're gonna do a stream on Christmas.
I'm thinking about it. It just depends, because hubby's gonna be home for Christmas, so we're not gonna be in the truck. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing one. It just depends on what we're doing on that day. We have plans just to kind of stay home and chill, but those could change for all I know. Why? What makes you ask?
Okay, so because maybe we can be able to do like a duo stream. Like I can be able to stream on mine, have you stream on yours. We can be able to do like a stream involving that campaign that you have been doing a lot of research on.
Well, like I said,
Because
we did a big stream on it, and like I said, without any updates. If there's no updates, I don't talk about it. Because like I said, I'm trying to like tread carefully with it, and none of the videos are monetized. I can even go through my video manager and show you right now that none of them are monetized. So I don't want to like look like I'm doing
no,
this for
don't do
quick
that.
reviews.
I don't want you to go all the.
Hmm.
I don't want you to go all the trouble doing that. So don't do that. Don't do that
Oh no,
because I don't. Because I'm gonna try to save you trouble of not doing that.
that's not. It's not any trouble at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's nothing going on with that, I don't talk about it. I go off and I do my own thing. So
So you have exactly 5 comments. No, 6 now. That and people were asking you some questions
oh crap, yeah, my
because I have it on my phone.
stupid chat bot. Let's see.
Do you want me to read them to you?
No, I got it. He's very quiet. Good now, thank you. Um, is Patreon and YouTube liberal now? YouTube has, oh, dude, ever since Susan Wojcicki took over, it's been full blown liberal, dude. She's a legit feminist. There's been crackdowns for a while.
Do you want you?
Patreon too.
I think YouTube.
Go ahead.
Well, for me, I think, in my opinion, YouTube, I think is going to turn into a shit show. I mean, an ultimate shit show. Because literally, like after what happened with the whole entire monetization partner program, I don't really think anybody wants to earn an income per se on YouTube. So what they're doing is they're doing Streamlabs. Like I actually do Streamlabs myself, but I don't like ask people to like donate. It's just there for them to, go ahead and like, hey, let's go ahead and, donate like $1 or something, donate $2. I wouldn't really be like, oh, hey, donate this to me. No, I wouldn't do that. And then the thing is like for me, when I have them donating, it'll pop up on my screen that says so and so has donated. Welcome to the KJ Media family. Yeah, that's literally how it's working nowadays.
Well,
Okay.
I have.
So I personally.
Go ahead.
I personally don't. I used to be monetized, but they took away my monetization, and I told you that already over Twitter that they have done that, and I am still pissed off to this day that they have took my monetization away.
Well, you can get it back. I'm gonna touch upon this real quick, and then I'm gonna go and answer the other questions. Figure out why you got demonetized, and because Cognitive Thought did that. He got demonetized, and he went through and he cleared out the spam or copyrighted stuff, and he reapplied, and he did get his monetization back. So figure out if they give you a reason.
Well, I don't have any strikes on my channel. I don't have any strikes on my channel, so I have nothing to worry about.
Well, no, it's not strikes. It's anything that was either copyrighted claimed, considered spam, duplicious, or a duplicate. So, like I said, find out the reason, and if you need to clean out your channel to get the monetization back, I would do it. What in the...
Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, hi, who...
What?
Yeah, we're gonna stick your ass in timeout. And I don't have any of my mods.
What?
Not you.
What the hell?
Hold on, I'm going through. I don't know who the hell that is. Just...
I don't know how Kayla does it, but... Hold on. I don't know how Kayla does it on her channel. On my channel, if something like that ever happens, I'll just be like, you take a big fat L and just play on your ass.
Yeah, no,
That's how I would do it.
Yeah, no, I don't know who that is, and if you are from the barrel, SOL to you. I don't know who that is, but yeah, goodbye now.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who that is either. Hey, I gotta get going pretty soon because I'm gonna go eat some dinner real quick. We're gonna talk for another couple minutes or so.
Okay, no, that's fine. Sorry about that, guys. That was kind of unexpected, but it's all cleaned out now, and yeah, so that was fun. But anyway, the questions. Let me get onto the questions because I had let me make sure those are actually all cleaned out. Yeah, those are all gone. Okay. So, let me get back to the questions before that.
You're on Visionary.
Huh. Okay, Visionary, and then there's another one. Okay, CP is the only part of the reason Chambers, Apple doesn't want any porn on their App Store to appeal to advertisers or whatever. Yeah, and Tumblr's getting rid of the porn altogether, so... And then, let's see, Visionary Family Inc., what's wrong with camming? I mean, like, being a digital hoe is inherently... like, it's degrading, and it... I think it's unhealthy. I really do. If you are that desperate for money to where you got to show your crap out on the internet, that you can't ever go back and take that back. You can't. So... Okay. What's wrong with... Okay, oh, I already answered that question. I think I'm getting trolled. Hold on, guys.
And
yeah, no.
NFW is not going to be turning on Tumblr. Man, what?
Yeah.
NFW.
Hold on, we're getting...
No,
we're getting trolled. I'm not sure by who. I want to say by Barrel, or it could be some old members. That's okay, I'm cleaning them out.
We had some old...
Actually, let me, you know what?
Well, yeah, some members in here that were not being, appropriate.
Okay, hold on. Falcon, you are now a mod. Why did I need to establish more mods? Hold on. Honeydrop, you're here a bit, so I'm gonna make you a mod too. Honeydrop is...
I try to pop in as much as I can.
Okay. Falcon, Honey Drop. Yeah, no.
Like,
Hold on. Yeah, no, it's a raid. I think I know who's doing the raiding. I don't care. I already told them, warned them once they do that. I'm just gonna ban them. It could be people from Barrel. Which,
probably.
oh no, Over the Barrel is a MLP Discord chat group, so could be from them. It could be some other people that I'm possibly suspected. I don't care. I ban them and clean out their shit. Nothing to me. I'm not gonna sit here and screech at
Why
people.
is Echo Whispers
Huh?
Echo Whispers scared of what? I said, if you look at Echo Whispers, she
Yeah.
said, I'm scared.
Oh, it just people being shitbags, Echo. So Falcon goes, okay, thank you, I guess. What, you don't want to be a mod? You're here a lot, so what time is it?
And
Oh,
I try to pop in as much as I can. Oh.
okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't allow that stuff. And also something too, when it talks about the monetization, and I'm gonna wrap it up here. That is another reason why I have super chats disabled. My channel is still monetized, but because of YouTube's new policy, now had I received those in a super chat, my channel could have gotten whacked with a community guideline strike. So yeah, because what
Damn.
happened? Oh yeah, no, that's you.
You would have been banhammered.
YouTube has said that if they now had mods coming in, and I need to update my stuff because if with my memory and hollow, they're supposed to. I try to get them to act as moderators, but something is not jiving. So if at Paul, I have them hiss at stuff, and I need to apparently have them hiss at more stuff to alert me to what's going on. Because their hissing is loud and obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
Um. But actually,
Okay.
but yeah, no, I will actually show you an example of them hissing. Let me see what the settings are. It says device not connected.
And your quality of your stream, by the way, is doing a little bit better. You just need to tone down the settings on your OBS, and your stream's gonna be completely clear. Some. I can't even change my own name in your Discord, Caleb. What the hell? Okay. We didn't post it on Discord. Oh. No, don't, please, no, don't do that. Yeah. Damn. God damn. I feel the not so love very much. You're not gonna make me mod, but you make your other mods. Oh damn. I can hear you. See, it's what happens when you mess with settings.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can we hear me now?
Here, I'm gonna mute real quick so I can hear it.
Can people hear me? Cause my OBS is picking me up, but yeah, I'm sorry about that. I wanted to show you guys something, so I had to fiddle with my crap. Stupid programs.
Oh man, my headphones are awesome. I got some new headphones. Woohoo!
Okay, so what I was saying during that quiet span, because I didn't realize I was freaking muted, is that Honey Drop Unicorn, what you can now do is you can right click on the person, and if it's a vulgar message, you can delete it, you can put the person in timeout, or you can ban the person from the chat, I believe. I believe the mods can ban. So, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I don't do raids. I ban you and clean up your shit. I actually gotta check my Discord real quick, cause that now makes me nervous. Okay, nope, that didn't happen in Discord.
I actually got I deleted all my videos on my channel. I'm actually starting from scratch. So,
but
because all the content I had was not fitted in my.
Okay. That's fine. We're creeping on 2 hours and a half. I'm going to end it up here. Sorry for the technical difficulties at the end. I messed with one app and it caused a malfunction with the other one. But thank you guys for coming out. I will keep you guys posted whether or not there is going to be a Christmas stream. I don't know yet. So, and if there is, it's just gonna be like a fun little thing. It just people get together. No, I was talking. It just my OBS went and malfunctioned on me for whatever frickin' reason. So I was talking. I promise. Is this wrench pneumatic? I don't know. I don't. Hold on. I'm looking up to what that word means. Let's see, container operated. No. It's not pneumatic, nor does it relate to the spirit. But anyway, you guys have a nice...
I'm gonna mute so you can do your outro.
Okay. I'm actually gonna kill the desktop audio. Boop. Okay. So, you guys have a nice night, and we will see you possibly in a Christmas one. Yay!